This is Pikes Peak International Raceway. In fact, the debut weekend of road racing here at this brand new facility. 31 Spec Racer Ford Pro Series machines ready to do battle in just a minute. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Pikes Peak International Raceway. As I said, a brand new facility, and this is the Children's Grand Prix weekend of Colorado. And joining me in the booth is Derek Daly. And Derek, we're looking forward to some great racing here, no question.
On a very unusual racetrack. Now, there's been lots of action here all weekend, but the unusual thing about this track is, and we'll see it later, there's more oval track than road racing here, although they call it a road race. And the drivers, to a man, say they love this long, fast, wide NASCAR banking.
There's been an awful lot of action already this weekend in terms of practice and qualifying. A lot of racing today makes for some interesting track conditions.
Yes, indeed. In fact, changing track conditions because they have had hardship laps of other series. And in fact, we had an oil spill just before this race. They've gone out to clean it, but it's going to present another difficulty that these drivers have to adapt to.
And they haven't had a chance to get out on the track since that's happened, let alone since some of the other series have raced. So conditions from what they ran in practice and qualifying could be vastly different, and it's a lot cooler out.
But word has filtered down through the dummy grid that there's something wrong in that first corner, so they're all going to be very careful.
Well, I would suspect we've got some good information coming from pit lane. Working the pits for us is John Bizignano. Biz?
Well, one of the big stories down here is that Joe Bunton, this is his first pro race ever, and he's on pole position. Joe, you had a little bit of advantage here. You've run here in some club races, but you got to be very happy with this car.
I'm very happy, John, and I'm real pleased to be in front of some fine drivers that are right behind me on the grid. It's going to be a good race.
What about intimidation? You got a lot of pros behind you.
I'm not too worried about that. I try to focus on what's in front of me generally, John.
Well, he has a clear view, guys.
Put on the blinders and go fast, I guess, is a good approach here when you're in this situation. You got 30 cars behind you. It should be an exciting race. We're going to be back and give you an idea of points and the starting order for this great race coming up in just a few minutes.
Are you tired of playing Twister with messy rope, tape, and twist ties? Then you need the Handy Bundler, the world's first endless tie wrap dispenser. No matter what the size, Handy Bundler tightens to a perfect fit every time. It's lightweight, fits comfortably in your hand, and secures anything as easy as 1, 2, 3. No more tangled rope, messy twist ties, and sticky tape. Now neatly wrap cable and TV wires for a better appearance. Tie garbage bags tight in seconds. Secure luggage to the car for safe travel. Look, ordinary tie wraps just aren't long enough, but the Handy Bundler's cord extends to any size. Large or small, it wraps them all. It's perfect to clean up newspapers, wrap audio and speaker wires, take Handy Bundler outdoors to support tomato plants, train ivy, or bundle an out-of-control garden hose. Keep one in your car for roadside repairs. You can even protect children from dangerous places. Take Handy Bundler to work to tame the wildest computer cables. Secure boxes for shipping. The Handy Bundler is ideal for crafts. Make your own dried flowers. Neatly store holiday lights. Decorate for any festive occasion. And the Handy Bundler is virtually indestructible. Even the law can use Handy Bundler to detain criminals. You'll find hundreds of uses for the Handy Bundler around the shop, at home, in the office, and on the job. Now, in this limited time offer, you get the Handy Bundler. Over 50 feet of durable nylon strapping that'll hold just about anything. And 100 locking clips, all for only $19.95. And it comes with this guarantee. Use Handy Bundler, and if you're not convinced it's the best tool ever, return it for a full refund of the purchase price. Order now.
Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-863-5522 or send $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping to Handy Bundler, P.O. Box 2987, Framingham, Massachusetts. For faster delivery, call 1-800-863-5522.
Back at Pikes Peak International Raceway again for the Spec Racer Ford Pro Series. It is the 8th round of the championship. And as you take a look at the points, you can see Robert Mumm leading, but not by much. 2 points separating he and Keith Scharf, who's second. Only 8 points back is Warren Stillwell. Then Leo Capaldi. There's a bit of a gap there, but Capaldi and Neil Tilber are tied for that 4th spot. In 6th, a little bit further back, is Willis, then Johnny Marighi, then Chris Funk, then Bob Boudinot, and James Goffrey, the top 10. And let's check in once again with Biz down in pit lane.
Well, Robert Mumm, are you thinking about this race or the championship?
Well, certainly the championship is first on my mind here. We're leading the points now. We need to
keep in touch with the leaders here. Car's feeling really good. We had a little problem qualifying, but it's going to be good and strong. Points, championship is most important to us right now.
Now, every time I've seen you drive this car all year long, it's been flat out. It's going to be tough to have a little bit of a different approach, right?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I'm still going for the win here, don't get me wrong, but the championship's where it's at, and we'll be right there at the front.
Boy, that's where he's been all year long, guys.
Well, I'll tell you, with the exception of that first race where he finished out of the points, he started the next race with a win and has been on the podium in every successive race. Consistency gets you points leads. Now, we had talked a little bit, Derek, about the uniqueness of this track. There it is.
Call it a road course. Have a look at this, though. Mostly an oval track background here. You see 1 and 2, high bank, very wide, very fast. The drivers love it because they can stretch their legs. When you get to turn 3 and 4 and 5, gets very sharp. It says second and third gear corners down to about 40 miles an hour. Top speed into turn 3, almost 125 miles an hour.
And again, these are spec machines, so you've got to work every corner here, especially, I would have guessed, that launch up onto that front straight. Get out of there as clean as you can. It's absolutely crucial. Now, we had talked about that points lead. Only 2 back in second is Keith Scharf. He's way back in the grid, and he's with Biz.
Keith, there's a man up there in the number 10 car that says he's going to make it very hard for you to get around.
Oh, I believe that. Robert Mumm has been tough all year, and it's between him and I for the championship. If Warren wins this thing, it'll be a 3-car battle going into the last race at Reno, so it's going to be exciting today.
You really have nothing to lose by going flat out, do you?
Oh, not at all. This is for the championship. There's this race and one more, and we got to stay in contention. We're only 2 points out now, but there's 3 guys could win this thing.
Watch this Valvoline machine coming through the grid, guys.
In a big grid, again, 31 of these identical Spec Racer Ford Pro Series machines are going to be firing up and heading out for 30 minutes of battle here in just a minute at Pikes Peak International Raceway. You're not going to miss a thing. We'll be right back.
Pick up the phone and call now for your free complimentary issue of Motor Trend magazine, the world's automotive authority. Peterson's Motor Trend tells it like it is, with conclusive reports and comparisons on the world's best new import and domestic luxury cars, sports cars, pickups, vans, and sport utility vehicles. If you really love cars, you need to test drive the ultimate automotive magazine, risk-free. Just call now and reserve your free introductory copy of Motor Trend. And if you like what you see, you can order a 12-issue subscription for only $11.97. That's 71% off the newsstand price. It's easy. We'll bill you. If you choose not to subscribe, simply return the bill marked canceled. You'll owe nothing, and the free issue is yours with our compliments. Peterson's Motor Trend magazine is the world's automotive authority. Check us out. Call now for your free introductory issue.
Watch Speed Vision's explosive lineup of war footage, spanning 50 years of conflict. On Air Combat.
Six countries, 36 tracks, and 40 different race cars. And how realistic is Grand Tour racing? Let's just say, be careful.
Once again, we are back at Pikes Peak International Raceway as part of the Children's Hospital Grand Prix, and you can see the Spec Racer Ford Pro Series machines making their way onto the track. And again, a big field, 31 machines going to go after it here, and looking forward to a great race. It's a timed event, 30 minutes timed event. And again, you're getting the indication the cars are every one of them was able to start up and head out on course, working their way up onto that banking. Actually, they're going to be in the warm-up lane as they head out and then start to work the track. Now, Derek, we had talked about it. The conditions much cooler than they had when they practiced and qualified. How's that going to affect them?
Cooler conditions, which actually sometimes gives you more grip, makes these cars go even faster, particularly if they make more engine horsepower. But the man on the outside of the front row of the grid, Warren Stillwell, keep an eye on him. because he has had such bad luck this year. However, he has had 3 wins, and that dragged him up into the top 3 in the championship. Now, but I have to say, Joe Bunton did a super job to do what he did to put that car on the pole. However, it shows you what local knowledge does. One race that he did here has given him a wealth of experience on this tight infield section here. And remember, Warren Stillwell will be learning that as this race goes on. There's the patchwork. You just see them drive over the top of it right there. They put concrete down because it dries much faster, but they put that concrete down this morning. These drivers have never driven over it, and they'll see it now for the first time.
And again, that has a whole different grip characteristic than the pavement, the tar that they would normally run on, so they're going to have to explore that, I would suspect, somewhat delicately.
Spec racers, this is where they say they're all the same. The driver makes the difference. This is a little 1.9 liter Ford Escort engine. It's got a 5-speed gearbox. They're all prepared by Roush Racing. This may be the most popular form of racing in the world. How many have they built? Something like 700 plus of these chassis.
Not only built them, sold them. And when you think there's regional racing, there's national racing, and then there's this Pro Series. The nice thing is, out of those 700, you can buy one, get your feet wet in regional racing, get comfortable, move into the national race, and when you think you're ready, take that same car and go right in to a Pro Series and be able to get that kind of exposure. So it's a great effort. You can see the cars working at it, weaving back and forth. And let's take a look at the starting grid for this one. As I said, 31 cars, huge field. The local driver with the local knowledge, Joe Bunton, on the pole. A great effort. His average speed 73.339 miles an hour. The track only 1 mile and 3/10 long. That's fast. Warren Stillwell, as Derek alluded to, 3 wins, but 3rd in the points. He starts outside of that first row. Second row will be Robert Mumm, point leader. 6 podiums with 2 wins and 5 front row starts is what's got him there. Along with number 74, another local driver with that knowledge, Peter Frank. Third row, number 19, John Santos Burrito from Escondido, California, and number 23, John Bowden from Lawrence, Kansas. In the 4th row, number 8, Neil Tilber, tied in the points for 4th. He's out of New Smyrna Beach, Florida, along with Keith Scharf, 2nd in the points. Keith is going to be interesting to watch. And then number 6, Valvoline entry. 5th row, number 49, Jack Willis, and number 16, Craig Reeder. 6th row will be number 77, John Marighi, and 68, Leo Capaldi. 7th row, number 22, John Strickler, and 7, Steve Redkemper. 8th row, number 75, Jim Lewis and Chris Funk. In the 9th row, Mike Buck and Zan Smith. In the 10th row will be John Brumder and Bob Budno. 11th row, Ray Curry and Andy Carlino. 12th row, Rodney Thompson from the Turks and Caicos Islands. There's a haul. Wells Dixon will join him. 13th row, David Ryan and Steve DeJelbian. 14th row, Bill Kephart and Ron Jacobs. 15th row, Dan Wayland and Joe Ginn. And alone in that 16th row, 31st position, Rod Beckman. That's your 31-car field. And again, Derek, we can't stress enough they're identical. This makes this racing incredibly intense.
Which means if you make a mistake, you can go from the front to the back in a hurry with very little chance to make it all the way up again. But I do believe in races like this, experience counts. So Robert Mumm, your Keith Scharf, Warren Stillwell, people like that, Neil Tilbor, I think will make their way to the front. Biz?
Well, just one other comment about the man leading this championship, of course. He said that he qualified all weekend long with a broken header. Now that has taken some 8% off of his horsepower. So he's going to go right straight to the front. I think by turn 3, you're going to see him right up there pushing that championship further down the track.
And of course, they're down. They figure about 17 horsepower at this altitude anyway. Makes it interesting. Pace car is in. Watch for the start. Bunton, the black machine on the inside. Stillwell, the maroon machine on the outside. Boy, Bunton bringing him up slow. He knows what to do. There's the green, and he gets a nice jump. He planned that beautifully, Derek.
Warren Stillwell let him get away with one there. No green flag.
Oh, Bunton maybe planned it too well.
Yeah, front row was not aligned as the SCCA would have liked, so they let them go around one more time. There's the oil streak that we mentioned. Warren Stillwell running right over the top of it. They cleaned that up for about 15 minutes right before these cars went out. That will be a little bit slippery. The cars like to run through it to get the dust off the racing line as soon as possible, but the clock is running. Remember, this is a timed event, 30 minutes long.
And the clock has started, as we say, so we're essentially racing. We're just doing it at this point under yellow. We were talking about how close. You can see the double yellows there displayed from all the corners and at start finish, indicating that the entire track is yellow. During the course of the race, you might see 1 or 2 corners with a yellow. There's an incident there, and they're just warning the drivers. But once you get by the incident, go ahead and race, no problem. And Derek, I wanted to mention, did a quick look at the grid here. We were talking about how close this is. You've got to go back to 19th position to find somebody who's more than a second off of Joe Bunton's pace. race. That's how closely compacted these fields are.
An indication how even these cars are. And of course, that's what spec racing is all about. Great success story for the SCCA when whoever came up with this concept put it down on paper. They originally started with Renault engines. They still have Renault suspension pieces, but then of course Ford engines and gearboxes were inserted, and it's been nothing but a success ever since it debuted.
And of course, when Ford came on board, whoop, problem there for number 33. He has some damage. That's Dan Whalen. He was starting back in the 29th spot. And we might suspect when they waved off perhaps that start, you tend to get that accordion effect back in the field. You start accelerating a lot sooner than everybody else may have caught him out.
I would say old Dan's on his way to the pits because that doesn't look good. Also, remember, they're on spec Yokohama tires, so no advantage by anybody. And here's green this time.
We're green, and as you mentioned, not only are they spec tires from Yokohama, they're street radials as well, so they got to take care. Bunton down low has a lot of pressure from number 10 right there, but Stillwell takes the high line, running just underneath that oil streak there, and enough exit speed there, running a little higher, didn't pinch the car down, and he jumps into second. Mum is third, and I think that's John Santos-Perito, who jumped up nicely into the 4th spot by Frank, and it's going to get busy down into this hairpin. Bowden's right where he wants to be, clear of everything, and that's Tilber trying the outside line in that bright lime green car. It is busy. Bowden hanging on, or Button hanging on.
Whoa, we have a dust storm here at the back. Keeps it straight, keeps it back on the racetrack.
Tilber ducks down to the inside of Santos-Perito in that battle. Number 18, that's Ron Jacobs out of Denver, a local driver having his problems. He has pulled off. Now he gets it refired and is back and underway. And Tilber made the move on Santos-Perito and moves up. And look at that. Keith Scharf looks to be already up into that top 6. Perhaps somebody running way wide over there.
Tilber.
That was Mum.
And look at Tilber. Tilber got it all wrong also. So now he's dropped 1, 2, 3, 4. He's in a battle for 5th place now with Mum and Tilber side by side.
Unbelievable. And I think that car with that white nose and blue back, that may be Scharf. What an opening lap for Keith Scharf under green. By my count, has moved up into 4th. There is Bunton, your leader. Then 28. Take a look at what happened here. That car running wide, got it out in the gravel. Is car number 7. That's Steve Reckhemper from Chicago. Did a nice job. Just sort of saved it with power.
A dust storm, and he drags her back onto the racetrack. And then, of course, we lost some of the front runners from that early tow. They went wide, and it's left to Warren Stillwell to follow Joe Bunton. Bunton doing a good job here.
And again, Stillwell might be thinking, with these cars being so equal and by their design being a little heavy and not a lot of power on this big oval, if they can just work together a little bit, they might be able to increase that gap back to 3rd, settle this one between the 2 of them.
Yes, they could. You can hear the tire squeal as they go down through those 2nd gear corners in the S's. Interesting. Look at the different line Warren Stillwell has. He's higher on the banking, and Joe Bunton is the low line all through this NASCAR high bank here. Watch this. Stillwell is high, Bunton is low. Now Bunton takes the short way around. Maybe that is faster.
Well, I think these cars, as we watch that side-by-side battle for 5th, 77, Johnny Marigi is at war. Tilber losing out as number 49. Jack Willis went right underneath Tilber, stuck his nose right underneath. Oh, look at this. He's thinking about it, but Marigi going to run a little bit defensive into the corner. You bet. And Willis backing away from it, but a nice move by Willis, who watched that side-by-side battle, teamed up with the right guy.
Jack Willis, whose dad prepares the cars. Dad's from England. They actually put these cars together. They are distributors in Atlanta for these cars, but that was a good move by Willis trying to get down the inside, but Marigi defensive.
Now back as we look at Bunton, as he is working the curves, getting that car a little loose up there, but he's worked that infield better than anybody and longer than anybody with his experience. We're going to come back for the duration of this race, a good one, in a minute.
Power flow's going down. I'm too close. I'm turning around. Turn it! Face the wind! Face the wind!
Now, the ultimate tornado experience hits home with the most spectacular collection of tornadoes ever. Tornado Video Classics. Witness the destruction as this ominous force of nature wreaks havoc with everything in its path. See it, hear it, non-stop chilling tornado action and incredible chase footage you have to see to believe. Pickups hurled hundreds of feet in the air, highways ripped away, tornadoes of fire, and amazing close calls as tornadoes pass dangerously close. This video has it all. Order now and get absolutely free the Top 20 Tornado Countdown featuring the top 40 tornadoes ever captured. For only $19.95, you get both tapes. Over 100 tornadoes in 2 hours. Guaranteed to blow you away.
To order, call 1-800-826-0404. That's 1-800-826-0404. Or send $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
To get the Outdoor Life Network, call your local cable operator or satellite distributor.
Back at Pikes Peak International Raceway, there's the gap between your lead two in the Spec Racer Ford Pro Series race. And Derek, we talked a little bit earlier about the different lines. These cars, unlike a NASCAR or an Indy car that carry a lot of speed and can run up high, it might be the short way around is the quick way around. Sure looks like it.
Could well be with a spec car like this. Look at this, the braking zone. This is a very bumpy braking zone. That is the battle for 8th position. Neil Tilborn, the Tyco RC car, leading that battle. Look at Keith Scharf. He has his hands full. That's Marigi behind him. Huge, just traffic jam of cars all the way back down to the racetrack here.
That car right behind Tilber, the purple entry, was Peter Frank from Longmont, Colorado, who qualified 4th. He has slipped back noticeably to 9th. He's trying to rebound a little bit. There's 68, Leo Capaldi, and behind him is number 10, Robert Mumm, the point leader, and with Scharf in front of him and with Stillwell in front of him, this is not looking so good right now for Robert Mumm. Again, that margin total 10 points between those three.
I'm surprised to see Leo Capaldi in the yellow and black car there in the slipstream. I'm surprised to see him so far down because he was a winner first time out of St. Petersburg this year. We saw that on Speed Vision. And now he makes up one position over car number 74, Peter Frank.
And again, Capaldi qualified 12th, so he's moving up a little bit. He's finally into that top 10, but he is a ways back. No question, doing what he can. A lot of side-by-side racing here. It's the nature of the beast. 74 Frank locking a tire up big under braking as they head down into the infield section of this track, working that infield. And there is 6 Scharf. Look at how close. 77 is right behind him. Then John Marigi in that battle. Then 49 Willis, Tilber, and that gang behind him. We essentially have about a 10-car battle right now for what is essentially 5th spot.
And Johnny Santos Spirito loves what he sees in his mirrors because he is beginning to inch away in the top 3 position. He is 3rd. He gets away from this squabbling bunch of boys here. But this is good, close stuff. And this is what this racing has been about all season long. Close side by side. And these boys are beginning to hold each other up. Keith Scharf leading the train here.
Well, 77 Marigi, who had lost the spot to Scharf, looking like he wants to get it back. There goes Mumm trying the outside of Frank on the banking. Back up front, there's Scharf, there's Marigi, there's Willis. Down to the inside goes 77 Marigi, and Willis, he did it before, he wants to do it again, tries to team up with him. They might trap Scharf up on the outside. Marigi's there, both of them locking up. Scharf, a bobble, goes wide, and there goes Willis underneath, and they bump. Scharf is off. He does the same thing, just corrects with power, comes back on, loses 2 spots, maybe 3. Unbelievable.
Oh, he shakes his fist at Jack Willis, and he's not out of the trouble yet. Look, he gets a whack again. So 2 wallops and 2 corners, and Keith Scharf suddenly, who is chasing the championship here, remember, he's beginning to drop down. Oh, he's in trouble again.
Whoa, first it was Capaldi, then Frank, and now that's number 22 trying to work him over as well, John Strickler. A lot of contact. I guess fenders give you that little bit of confidence to work it like that.
Well, this looks like a street fight. In fact, he's been mugged about 4 times here. Look at this.
There's the lockup by the 2 cars, Derek, and this is where it starts. Scharf gets trapped outside, but look at him. They're both locking up brakes.
What's Jack Willis? Jack Willis slides down the inside. Now he loses control, hits him a good old wallop, bang, sends him onto the dirt, dust. He's now going to shake his fist. He shakes his fist. Hey, Jack's gone. Sorry, it's too late.
And now here we go. That 74 Frank taking a look at Capaldi, and on the outside, Scharf just dives around the outside, gets his right side tires in the grass, doesn't let up one bit. And look at this. Capaldi's got a problem. That contact is his right rear quarter. You can see it right there. It's bent up. That's going to hurt him. There's tire rub, and Scharf smells opportunity, I think.
Whoa, that was a brave move by Keith Scharf that he did manage to pull off, but somebody's in trouble. That must be Capaldi, yes. Tire rubbing against the bodywork. He is on his way to the pit lane. Keith Scharf's going to get by him. Sad that Leo Capaldi, his start of the season was so good, and the end not looking that good, but Keith Scharf still finally makes his way by.
I think Capaldi finally looked at his mirror and saw that plume of smoke and knew that as good as those Yokohama tires are, they're not going to stand up to that. And there's Leo Capaldi down into the pits, and Biz is there.
That's his wife.
Well, his wife has jumped over she was the first one over the wall, guys. That rear end collision has lifted that fender, and of course you just can't race like that. It destroys the aerodynamics on the back of this car, and they do only create a little bit of downforce, but when it's gone, it upsets the entire balance of the car. Right now, this pit stop has killed this gentleman's weekend. He's finished.
That's unfortunate, and again, that damage also not exactly the best thing for those tires. Fourth in the points coming in. He's going to lose some ground there. And again, there is Sharp. There's Peter Frank, 74, diving to the inside. Again, that's going to hurt him, and he drifts a little wide on the exit. Sharp takes advantage, and there's a couple of car lengths. With these cars being so equal, smooth in your lines are so crucial, aren't they, Derek?
Yikes, absolutely. You have to be smooth. You get these cars sideways. They don't have enough horsepower to power their way out of slides, so you have to be smooth and consistent. Keith Sharp, who's currently running 6th, needs to begin to pull away. Look at the tire smoke here from Leo Capaldi.
Well, you can see that right rear quarter panel on that deck has folded up and actually got caught on top of the tire, and that is creating just some tremendous smoke out of there. And look at this, Stillwell up on the outside challenging your leader Joe Button as they head down into the infield section. He went the inside. I don't really think he thought he could make the pass, but I think he's trying to let Button know that Warren Stillwell, who was alive, and Stillwell gets a good drive, and Button shutting the door, and somehow they didn't touch. That is close quarters racing.
Well, I'm not sure they didn't touch. I think the left front corner of Stillwell's car might have just had a little love tap on the back of Bunton's car, but Stillwell has learned the racetrack from the man who's done this before. Now, the nose cone of Bunton's car seems to be loose.
Well, once again, the action absolutely fierce here as we're still relatively early into this one. We'll be back here at Pikes Peak International Raceway.
If you're a real car enthusiast, you should be reading Auto Week every week. For true car lovers, once a month is not enough.
Auto Week has the latest news because it's a weekly. You can stay up on top of everything.
All the new models, concept cars, SUVs, even collector cars are in Auto Week every week.
Auto Week will give you information on new models that really isn't available anywhere else.
All the racing news and analysis you could ever want when it's still hot.
I'm into going racing with my buddies, and Auto Week gives us information to talk about before it's old news.
Anything with wheels, Auto Week has.
Call 1-800-445-3800 for 52 weeks of Auto Week and get these 3 special issues free. Places, the ultimate shopping guide, and our complete racing fan guide with track maps, driver profiles, everything. All for just $24.95. Call 1-800-445-3800 now for Auto Week.
If you only had time for one car magazine, Auto Week would be the one to read.
Call now.
This is on board. This is online. This is fast. This is faster. Get online with Speed Vision's new website. Log on and get updated Speed Vision programming schedules and racing news and information. Online with Speed Vision. Catch us if you can.
Again, we can see Stillwell at Pikes Peak International Raceway in the Spec Racer Ford Pro Series. When we went to break, it closed up, but in just that short amount of time, the gap is back in Bunton's favor. These two are having a real seesaw battle of it, Derek.
They are having a good old tussle here. I'm trying to have a good look at Bunton's car as we go back to watch Keith Sharp again, because he is in a dust-up here. Robert Mumm, car prepared by his brother, the Mumm brothers. One of the best prepared cars in this series. Now the battle, but look at this. Number 74, Frank is still there. Peter Frank is still right in the middle of this battle.
Right behind them is 22 Strickler, 23 Bowden. I mean, this battle is fierce. And 7, Steve Raykamper, who was up a little bit further, is right in the thick of this as well. So it seems as quickly as you make 3-4 spots, you go back and you find yourself having to do it all over again. Huge scrap, and again, Sharp, a little bobble there it looked like, and Mumm gets a little bit of a gap. And we were talking about Robert Mumm, the driver, Barry Mumm doing the prep. They used to have in the back of the car the Mumm Brothers Excellent Adventure. They love their racing. And there's Joe Button again holding on. And this is a little bit of a look back at what happened. That was that move to the outside, Derek.
Good camera shot here. Watch this. Boom. Yes, a little love tap from Warren Stillwell. Joe Bunton is well positioned to hang on. Oh, gets her sideways. Look at the steering. Wide exit. But he manages to hang on. But this is a dust-up here.
I believe we saw the definition of working the wheel from Joe Bunton saving that one. And again, Stillwell now, after dropping back a little bit, has closed right back in again. And, you know, Joe Button said he worries about what's going on in the front, doesn't worry so much about what's in back when he talked to Biz earlier. But Warren Stillwell, who won the first 2 championships in this series since it was created and has so many wins, you got to be thinking about looking in those mirrors and seeing that number 28 staring you in the face.
And Stillwell remembers coming off a great win at Mossport. Now look at this here. Stillwell has moved down to the low Joe Bunton line. That's what I mean about learning from the man who's done this before. He's much lower in the line. He's in the slipstream now. Can he get a run? Can he get a big toe? This is a battle for 5th place.
That's Marigi actually now in fourth. Things change so quick. Willis right behind him, and there's that bright colored car, the Tyco RC entry of Tilber, and those three cars arguing over fourth spot right now. Willis getting a little bit of a launch, if you will, right behind 77. Marigi, oh, are they close? Marigi goes defensive to the inside. Willis swings outside. Tilber going with them, but the shorter line prevails. But let's watch the exit. Willis can't get it turned down enough and is right there.
Remember, the number 77 car has gone from 11th all the way to 4th place. So Johnny Marigi having a good run here. Neil Tilbor forces the issue on Jack Willis and makes a great move.
Well, it looked like Willis was so concerned about Marigi, he left that opening there, and there went Tilber. Tilber's not going to waste time.
That was good by Tilber. Now can he attack Marigi? Can he make a break? Because all this scrapping among themselves allows Bunton Stillwell and Johnny Santos Spirito to just begin to inch away. Look at Ferrer Marigi looking in his mirror. That's Robert Mumm right there.
Again, we've got Robert Mumm trying. He's made the break actually from that group behind him. Mumm running on his own, pretty much by himself. It's just a matter of just focusing and really driving smooth and carrying all kinds of momentum around this track to try and join that group right there. Tilber now 5th, Marigi 4th, and Willis 6th.
Oh, look at Tilbor having a look down the inside. Here he goes. Here's the launch ramp. There he goes. Oh, he locks it up. Can he make it? No.
Well, he saved it from going off track, but he ran just wide enough that Marigi was able to square up underneath and get right back by him. Tilber didn't lose anything other than that. He's right there. Boy, some great action here. I mean, we're seeing passes for position 2-3 times a lap. They're just swapping plays.
That was a good effort by Neil Tilbor. He just braked a tiny bit too late, but he knows there's a possible weakness there by Johnny Marigi. If he leaves the door open again, I guarantee you Tilbor will try and pounce down that inside.
Well, and Marigi seems to be able to work. Oh, look at that. Stillwell, we talked about him running low. He was closing in, it looks like, on Bunton back with his lead battle, and he's got to run way high. Oh, he comes down the banking, Derek, and it almost looked like he used the banking to propel him down to that second half of that corner.
But he's on the outside. He's on the outside in the braking zone. Can he make it stick? No, Bunton down the inside.
Stillwell turns in, trying to square up underneath, but Bunton covers it beautifully. Boy, Bunton was absolutely, I mean, in terms of defense, that was about as good as it gets. Now Bunton defensive going into the tight right-hander.
Good stuff here. Now remember, traffic. Look at the traffic right ahead of these boys.
And we have seen many times that traffic can affect a race, so we're going to, oh, Bunton gets it a little squirrely, the action intense. We're going to stop, break away for a minute. We're not going to let you miss any of it. We'll be right back.
It's not here. It's not here. And you'll never find it in here. Is your socket set always missing the one piece you need? Are you tired of wasting time trying to find the right size wrench? Wouldn't it be nice if you had one precision tool that could replace all these? Well, now you can. Introducing the Smart Wrench, the patented new tool that automatically adjusts to fit any size bolt or nut, metric or standard, instantly. Watch how it works. Smart Wrench's interlocking teeth automatically conform to the size of nut or bolt you're using. Need a half-inch socket? Smart Wrench has it covered. Now you need a 1-inch wrench? You're all ready to go. Look, this man is using a conventional socket set, and he has to change sockets with every bolt. But with the Smart Wrench, one tool does it all. Even wing nuts, eye hooks, and square head nuts. Smart Wrench has them all covered. What about stripped and broken bolts? Smart Wrench grips where others slip. No more bruised knuckles and no more lost pieces. Missing sockets are a thing of the past. And Smart Wrench is made of top quality chrome vanadium steel. You can't break it. Look what happened when we put Smart Wrench on the torque bar, set to maximum. Watch this 1-inch bolt snap in half and not even a scratch on the Smart Wrench. Now that's strong. Use it on your car, motorcycle, bike, boat, camper, around the house, around the garage, even in the garden. Smart Wrench replaces this $200 set of conventional sockets, and you can't lose a piece. Order Smart Wrench now, and you'll receive the entire kit. The Smart Wrench, ratchet, extender, and carrying case, all for only $19.95. And remember, the complete set is covered by our unconditional lifetime money-back guarantee, so you can't go wrong. Order Smart Wrench today.
To order Smart Wrench for only $19.95 plus shipping and handling, call 1-888-237-3399. That number again, 1-888-237-3399.
And the action at Pikes Peak International Raceway continues. There is your lead duo. Number 48, Joe Bunton from Fort Collins, Colorado, the LaRue Racing Machine, and Warren Stillwell, many-time champion in this division in the Mako Auto Body Stillwell Racing Spec Racer. And very close racing indeed. We have seen it between these two. Joe Bunton continues to lead, and John Bizignano was with the crew chief of that lead car.
Tom Topmeyer looks very satisfied, but a little bit worried at the moment. What's your man doing out there?
Well, hopefully he's doing what we discussed earlier and just driving some perfect laps. As long as he gets some good exit speed off the corner leading onto the main straight, I think he'll be in good shape.
Now, he told me that the most important thing about this racing was that the motor had to be strong. These motors are sealed, but he's very happy with your engine.
Well, the motor that he's got is not anything real special. It's a rental car that he's running. But the thing that's making that car fast right now is all Joe.
I hate to tell you, he just went off course, but he's back on.
Oh.
Well, some absolutely awesome racing. During the interview, we saw Stillwell work that same line and then got up around the outside, and that right-hander gave him the line, and the left-hander took the lead, then ran right off the track, Bunton back in front.
Well, Stillwell did a great job there to get the lead, and then he dropped the ball big time because this is the outside move here. And now he's getting brave here, remember, side by side. But watch what happens here. He ducks back to the apex, squeezes under the concrete patch. Now he has the advantage. He lays on him. He rubs on him a little bit. Little rub right there. Has the lead. Not over, though. Not over. Watch what happens here. Over the curb. Loses control. Over the gray. Over the dust. Over the dirt. Throws it all away, and Joe says, thank you very much.
Unbelievable sequence of corners right there. And again, that all started with that same move. He tried that outside move into that hairpin. Now they are back into that same section of track we just saw in the replay, and it's back to status quo, if you will, as Stillwell has tucked back in behind. We are right now coming up about or a little over halfway in this one. A lot of good racing yet to go, and Stillwell is right there. He is tucked back in again behind Bunton, and he's closing.
Look at this. Here's the slipstream. He's got a good run here. He's high on the bank. This is a longer way around. Not enough power. Got to get back in the slipstream again. Bunton now has the drag.
Almost looked like Stillwell was thinking about trying to trap Bunton behind that lap car, but he ran out of mojo climbing the hill. Here we go, and Stillwell around the outside. This is the same move. Once again, and Stillwell gets loose under braking. Big wobble, saves it, but he loses a lot of ground to Bunton.
Wow, this is good, close stuff here. Stillwell needs to adjust the brake balance on that car. He's locking up the rear brakes, but he is putting some pressure on Joe Bunton here, and Bunton withstands the pressure. He has not made many mistakes from the front here. He is under pressure, and he looks very, very good.
Once again, here's a replay of what happened, and they turned down the infield, and here's where Stillwell got it a little loose.
Locks up the rear brakes right there, sideways, moves offline, catches it with opposite lock, but now he's out on the gray. He's off the racing line, loses a lot of time, and gives Joe Bunton time to catch his breath.
Here's that head-on angle, if you will, that we were watching. He comes in right there, and he's going to jump on the binders, and there goes.
He's in trouble as of here. There's the first move, and here's the big move. Sideways, correction with the steering, and Joe Bunton gets to breathe again.
But not for long, as here we go down to the infield, and again Stillwell right there. Bunton knew he had a little bit of room, so he didn't have to drive so defensive. He was able to run a normal line through there, and on the exit of that turn he finds himself with a couple of legs.
Good stuff here, good stuff. First and second. Santo Spirito still third. That's Leo Capaldi, who we saw make an earlier pit stop, running third in our picture, but he's a couple of laps down.
Pretty big margin back to Santo Spirito, some 6 seconds behind that lead group. And then we've got this battle that is simply raging. Here is Robert Mumm. Watch that car now as Mumm rolls up. That is behind number 77, Johnny Marigi. Swings down to the inside there, and he traps Marigi up there. We've seen that inside line is a quicker one. That's a position. That's fourth.
That is fourth place, and this is the banking that the drivers really love here, because they can slingshot, they can go high and low, and slipstream and passing through slipstream really makes racing drivers feel good.
Tells you how quick things change. Just a little while ago we were talking about that car fourth in the picture. Number 49 Willis is being in that battle for fourth. Now he sits back in eighth. Things change in a big hurry, and it's almost in a way like stock car racing. You get offline especially on this banking, you get freight trains just a little bit, and 3 or 4 cars can blow right by you. That may be what happened. Again, here's the battle for the lead. Stillwell looking at it. Traffic playing a key. Joe Button hanging on. You can see 2 of those cones down. They're racing hard. We're just a little past halfway. We'll be back here at Pikes Peak International Raceway.
This is Mad 98 talking Smart D. Who do you love, Coach?
Guys who can sniff out a quarterback.
Yeah, zoning, dropping, snorting out the scent of fear.
The greats have good smellers on them. And boom, they act like a unit.
Liquid D, baby.
You have the sniffer, you have the smeller, then you go get what you just smelled. And this way you have that smeller for
You can run, but the hoons will find you. 1-888-MY-HOUSE. Talking trains with brains. Madden NFL 98, the ultimate show. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Is a new career in your future? Call Motorcycle Mechanics Institute today and get on the fast track to success. MMI graduate and Harley-Davidson service manager Randall Richards knows what it takes.
When I'm looking to hire new technicians, I need to find somebody who has a broad background and a solid understanding of how Harleys work. You know, somebody who is serious and efficient, ready to go with on-the-job training. I can always find these qualities in an MMI graduate.
Call 1-800-994-3664 today.
Next week on Speed Vision. On Motorin' Monday, Formula One replay from Japan. On Two Wheel Tuesday, first it's 125s and 18-year-old champion Valentino Rossi. Then it's 250s with new leader Ralph Waldman. On Wednesday on Water, after claiming his first victory, Guido Cappellini looks to close in on the leader, American Scott Gilman. On Take Flight Thursday, the breathtaking sights and sounds of the Oshkosh Fly-In. Speed Vision next week. Catch us if you can.
Back at Pikes Peak International Raceway, the battle continues to rage for the lead in this 8th round of the Spec Racer Ford Pro Series race. There is number 48, Joe Button. Behind him, the maroon-colored machine of 28, Warren Stillwell. Warren swung out. He knows he doesn't have the power to climb that bank. He's just trying to stay so close. We're 2/3 of the way into this one. There has not been one moment's rest for Joe Button, and here comes Stillwell, Derek.
Good stuff here, but look at Bunton, his defensive line. He's allowed to take that inside move. Warren Stillwell needs to work out a way to get it down to that inside line to give himself the advantage. But boy, this is good stuff here. Joe Bunton and Warren Stillwell.
Stillwell swinging way out wide to get a better angle into this right-hander, trying to do something on the exit. But Button had it fairly well covered. But Derek, it looked like into that hairpin, it looked like Stillwell was trying to get Button to come down, to go high and trying to get Button to drift up and square underneath him under braking. We might want to watch for that these next couple laps, see if he thinks he can make that move. But here is where we heard Joe Button's crew chief allude to it. That corner right there leading up onto the banking is the most crucial corner here. If you have a mistake there, the guy chasing you, if he gets it right, he is going to be all over you. And Button seems to be able to do just enough to get up onto that banking and do a nice job. Now here is the gap back to 3rd. There he is. So you can see that gap now about 6 seconds even. So Santos Brito, although he ended up back here, he's kept that right about 6 seconds for the entirety of the race. Doing a nice job. We're back to the front end. Stillwell again. Outside. Oh, Derek, so close.
Oh, hold your breath when he tries to make that move. But Joe Bunton is man. He is man, a match from every move there. But Stillwell knows he's got to get to the inside, not to the outside. And Joe Bunton knows he's going to force him to the outside all the time. Good stuff.
It started just a little bit earlier as we go to the replay. Same thing. Stillwell gets up on the outside in that bank. He can't afford to not make that move and lose the momentum, but he's not going to make the pass here, and he knows.
Do you know that he has not forced Joe Bunton into a mistake yet? So Bunton looks very, very good under pressure here. Remember, his first pro race, has raced here in the past in a club race. This is his first pro event.
There's a good look at number 10, Robert Mumm, back in 4th, and he is about 7 seconds behind, and Biz is standing by with Brother Barry. Biz?
Brother Barry's here. He's considered the brains of this racing operation. What's your brother saying to you?
Well, he's being pretty quiet. Obviously, he got hit in the start there, and so he's just driving pretty aggressively, trying to move up front.
He seems to be able to go by people fairly well. I mean, he's drafting down this straightaway, but he has the motor to go right on by.
Yeah, the car is real strong. We work real hard on making sure everything's right and free, and that the motor breathes right. So, yeah, he's doing well, but I don't think he can make it up.
Well, they're going to try.
Well, you know, and interestingly, John Santos Burrito's back in the points a little bit, not really an issue in the overall points battle. And I'm guessing Robert Mumm, with Scharf behind him, is hoping that Bunton holds on at the front and steals points from Stillwell.
Right, exactly. Good run here for Robert Mumm. Good run for Johnny Santos Burrito. We saw him earlier on. The one-man band. He has nobody that helps him most of the race. He does it all himself. So a good run here for him, but Robert Mumm still has him in his sights. But boy, here is attack mode. Frustration for Warren Stillwell because he knows he has a faster car. But hey, this is good close road racing because this is legal by the book, what we see here with the defensive driving by Joe Bunton. Here's another good run.
Well, and again, Stillwell and those two racing,
you know what?
very clean.
Look at this.
Here
What's
he goes.
This?
And Bunton covered. He sensed it coming. But boy, Stillwell, as we were talking about, he knows the line he's had. Isn't working. Bunton runs a little wide. Stillwell up to the inside on the exit. But that's the outside on that next turn. And they've got traffic in front. And Bunton is going to... Oh, here goes Stillwell. Squares underneath. Bunton backed off for just a second. And we have a new leader. Warren Stillwell working traffic beautifully. And it is Stillwell in the lead. Bunton now second. And the Iceman, Bunton, finally gave.
Great move by Warren Stillwell. We saw him try to pull an unusual move in the braking zone down at the hairpin. Couldn't get it done there, but he did line himself up for the next corner.
Take a look at the replay, Derek. There's that lap car, and here's where it starts.
Tightens the line. Now he's got a good run up to the next right-hander, but he's still on the outside. He's on the outside. Traffic plays a role here, though. Warren Stillwell backs off and says, you know what? I know I can't make it. I'm going to go inside. Joe Bunton made a tiny mistake. The first tiny mistake we saw Joe Bunton make. He opened the door and Stillwell just charged down the inside, and now he has the advantage.
Well, advantage, but Bunton starting to work the same lines that Stillwell did. We'll see if Stillwell has the same kind of nerves. Big move to the outside, trying the inside. Bunton gets there, and not quite enough. Oh my, Bunton is absolutely resolved to get that position back, no question. Now though, Stillwell has a little bit of room. There's some traffic in front. So hard to get anything done here at this section of track. And Bunton, look at that, he is within, what, half a car length as they start to charge up. Bunton's been very strong under the banking. Stillwell had to back out of it. Bunton is in the draft. Let's see. Bunton there. Stillwell watching those mirrors. They drop down low. Boy, Bunton's got to like that. He knows that line works. He swings to the outside. Yeah, that means climbing the banking, but he dives way down on the warm-up lane here. Gets a little sideways. He and Stillwell there absolutely side by side. Stillwell a little better exit speed and shuts the... He came down to take that lane away from Bunton.
He went on the apron. This is a road racing dust-up here. Suddenly Joe Bunton goes from defensive to offensive. You are not going to miss a minute of it here.
Some huge action. We're into the final 3 minutes. We're not going to let you miss a thing as Spec Racer Ford's going at it at Pikes Peak International Raceway.
Time is running out for you to get the most bone-shattering crash video ever made. The Crash Experience, the ultimate extreme in crash action. Yours for a limited time only through this exclusive TV offer. But wait, order now, you'll also receive absolutely free Crush This, the most awesome collection of monster truck destruction ever. That's right, both videos for the price of one, just $19.88. And there's more. Yeah. Call within the next 30 minutes. We'll include a third video. Bad Boats, absolutely free. It's drag boat devastation like you've never seen. There it is. 3 action-packed videos for the price of one. A $60 value. Yours for the next 30 minutes, just $19.88. Time is running out. Have your credit card ready? Call 1-800-247-4700 or send check or money order to the address on the screen. Order yours today. Call 1-800-247-4700. Order now.
This October on the Outdoor Life Network, get on your marks for a cycling tour that caters to kamikaze sprinters hurtling toward a breakaway finish. Get set for a new breed of extreme athletes taking mountain biking to new heights on Mount Everest. Go wild during 7 nights of sensational animals and sail into first place in a yacht race against prevailing winds and all odds. Stay ahead of the game this October on the Outdoor Life Network. Call your satellite distributor or local cable operator.
Well, we're back, and nothing's changed. That battle at the front is absolutely huge. It may be Stillwell in front, Bunton in second, but it is just as intense as it has been this entire race. And take a look at this move here. There goes Bunton. He runs a little high and then just turns hard left.
Very unusual move here, and potentially a very good move. He thinks he has grip down below on the apron, which he probably has, but not quite enough. Stillwell still has that momentum around the banking and just hangs on to the lead. What a dust-up here.
Absolutely, and of course this is crucial because we understand a white flag next time by. But at this stage, we are watching here into that. There they come off of the oval, down into the infield. Bunton dives to the inside, and Stillwell gets loose again under braking. We saw that before. He squares up, tries to get back to the outside. This worked for him before. We have a new leader, Derek. Unbelievable.
That was a great move. That may be a race-winning move we just saw from Joe Bunton. Warren Stillwell left the door open, and Bunton just charged down the inside. That may be the move of the race.
Well, here we see it. He absolutely late braked him, and you can see Stillwell a little bobble there. He saves it. Now he's going to turn, try and come back underneath. And it was that next corner that we're going to see is where Bunton made his lone mistake in this race, and it cost him the lead.
Wow.
Now, here's a wider view of it, Derek.
Wow, this was a great move. I don't think Warren Stillwell expected him to come from so far behind. A great move by Bunton. That may be the move of the race. White flag.
We are on our last lap, and I wonder, I think Bunton, so race savvy, may have sensed in those 2 laps that Stillwell has a braking problem with those rears locking up. Whoa. Stillwell now, he had the toe, he dives out, he dives in. Let's see, Bunton knows his brakes are better. Oh, but Bunton goes way wide. Stillwell squares up, and
still a drag race. Still a drag race. Oh, Stillwell's going to force the issue. He hits him. He goes to the outside. Can Bunton hang on?
Stillwell putting his right side tires into the dirt to try and find an opening. Bunton covered that. Stillwell has swung way back to the other edge. We're into the S's for the last time here. Bunton, Stillwell, final corner up onto the banking. Bunton has been pretty good right here. You can see he gets a gap, gets about a car length, and immediately turns down low. It gives him 3 more lengths. Smart move, and Bunton shaking his fist in elation takes the win. Stillwell has to be a frustrated second, but sometimes in a race like that you might be second, but you knew you were in a battle.
That was an exceptional race by Joe Bunton, but look at the battle back here. This is 5th place. Marigi trying to hang on to his 5th place, just about crosses the line ahead of Jack Willis, and Neil Tilbor comes right behind them.
Unbelievable, and there is an elated by absolutely understandable Joe Bunton, the local driver from Fort Collins, Colorado, the LaRue racing machine. You think he's happy? He just held off the best spec racer Ford Pro pilot. If you look at history in the world, what a drive.
Talk about stepping up when you need to. Man, that was exceptional. Under pressure, the man has not done this with this level of competition many times before. He loses the lead, sees why he lost it, and then comes back with an exceptional move. He has every right to be delighted. That champagne will taste really, really good tonight.
Well, I had no question. And the thing that impresses me is that
he's waving to us. Look, he hears us.
Corner workers, the whole thing. But what impresses me was after he was behind for 2 laps, I think he really sensed that Stillwell had that problem under braking, because when he tried that move, he came from way, way back, but I think he knew it would work.
You know what? I bet he's going to send this videotape to Frank Williams. He feels that good.
Yeah, he's hoping to be doing. You mentioned Reno before. He'd like to get back with her. Unbelievable. Some great stuff. He pulls down into pit lane. Absolutely thrilled. I would suspect some huge congratulations going to be dished out to that LaRue Racing Group, because it wasn't just the drive, as great as it was, but they gave him a car that got the job done.
I think this interview is going to be very interesting, because this man shows emotion, which you love to see, and he has every right to, because that was a wonderful example of controlled racing and of talent. There's the crew. They all share in what they just saw. That was wonderful.
Well, he must have 40 PSI of adrenaline pumping through his system right now. As you said, I think you're right. There's Johnny Santos Burrito, a nice job all alone by himself. Here is the first pass that changed the position. There goes Stillwell, and he goes to the inside on the exit of that turn, and traffic and a mistake by Bunton plays a role.
Great move here by Stillwell. Watch what he does. He ducks in behind him. Bunton goes slightly wide. There's Bunton's mistake right there. Boom. Now, By rights, he should have lost the race right there, except he came back and made a move just as good to snatch that lead back. Here it is again. Stillwell leaves the door open. The very difficult braking zone. Bunton charges down the inside and literally muscles his way past and takes the lead back. Great moves.
And he covered the exit. That was what was so key. He actually took the lane away that Stillwell had been working, and that is what really made that work. Unbelievable racing, no question. There is our winner, and we are going to be back here at Pikes Peak International Raceway to visit with him right after this.
Mike Piazza spends 9 innings destroying his hair and 90 seconds bringing it back with the shampoo that conditions too, Pert Plus. Because Mike wants great hair with plenty of time for other things. Don't you? Pert Plus. Simply great hair. Simply.
Are you up all night with nasty neck pain? Now discover the ultimate sleeping experience, the Mount Fuji Oriental Buckwheat Pillow. Mount Fuji Pillow's all-natural buckwheat hulls shift to move with you. We placed an egg under a foam pillow. We dropped a glass head on it. The egg is smashed. No support. We'll place the egg under the feathers from a down pillow. Drop it again. That egg is scrambled. Now place the egg under the buckwheat hulls from the Mount Fuji Pillow. Drop the head. The egg is safe. It custom molds itself to cradle and support your neck and shoulders in perfect comfort. Other pillows get hot and sticky. Buckwheat hulls won't conduct heat, so your pillow feels cool and refreshing all night long. Buckwheat pillows sell for $60 or more. The Mount Fuji Oriental Buckwheat Pillow and free custom pillowcase is yours for only $19.95 with a 25-year healthy sleep guarantee. The world's most comfortable pillow at a comforting price.
To order your Mount Fuji pillow, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-625-5544. That's 1-800-625-5544. Sorry, no CODs.
Welcome back once again to Pikes Peak International Raceway, where we have just seen one intense race unfold, and here are the final results. The winner, Joe Bunton, what a great drive as he held off second place number 28 Warren Stillwell. A very solid drive, although it was a lonely one for John Santos Spirito. Good effort there. Robert Mumm fourth, and Johnny Marighi hanging on to fifth, quite literally, over Jack Willis and Neil Tilber. Then it was Frank sitting there, a great drive for the local driver, back again in seventh. Then it was Scharf, then Funk, then Strickler, Lewis, Ray Kemper, Bowden, Boudinot, Reeder, Carlino, Smith, Curry, and Brumder, and the rest of the field. An absolutely sterling drive, though. Not just at the front. I mean, obviously we're focusing on that, but we saw battles for fourth, we saw battles for seventh, and that's really the nature of this type of racing. I mean, you tend to find people that are the package is equal to yours, and you race very, very close indeed. But the guy who ends up with the best package, arguably, no question, is our winner, and he's standing by with John Bignano.
Joe Bunton, what a way to become a pro racer.
It's a day of my life. I really appreciate everything. It's been a good race, a great race.
Who's your friend here?
Debbie. Hello, Debbie. She's the race queen.
Try and concentrate here.
Oh, yeah, sorry. This has been a fantastic race, and racing with Warren Stillwell was quite the privilege. He's a great driver, two-time national champ. It's been a great learning experience and fun for me, I'll tell you.
You had to be happy with that car. Now, before the race, you told me that you had the best engine on the track. Did that hold up for you, obviously?
Actually, you misunderstood me. I don't have the best engine on the track, but it's set up just right. You saw how Warren could close on me anytime, but drove a defensive line the entire race, and it makes it tough to get by on this track.
Well, defense can count out here. Let's see what Warren Stillwell says about that. I have never seen you drive so hard and end up in second place, buddy.
Yeah, that was an excellent race. I had a great time out there. I tell you what, I just flat out blew it. The first time I got in front of him, I came up with a gearbox full of neutral, and he got right back around me. I was so disappointed. And then I did it again, made a couple more mistakes. I could have had a better run, but it was an excellent, fun race.
What about your car? I mean, where could you get him? I mean, you were trying very hard under brakes. You were trying every different line on the banking.
Well, one time, I think the first time I got around him, he had to change his line going into a turn to avoid some lap traffic, and I snuck up inside him, and the very next turns when I missed a shift. I tell you, going down into through the banking, he kept going to the inside and the inside. He was not going to let me take the inside there, and he was very good under braking. That's how he got me back one time, and I could have been a little more aggressive under braking.
More aggressive under braking. Now wait a minute. How about that hairpin braking?
Well, you know, I think he was doing it a little better than me. As soon as I was in front of him, he dove down in the inside and went deeper, and then he just hogs the racing line, which is the way to do it. You know, I can't get around the corner until he's around then. He did a great job.
Warren, we got to step right by you here too, Johnny. What a great race for you. Congratulations on 3rd place.
Thank you very much. Once I lost our draft, 2 drivers on front, they're great drivers. All I had to do was just keep it smooth, keep it safe, and keep out of trouble and take home an easy 3rd.
What about your championship?
Well, after Minneapolis, I got knocked out of both races, so I was just hoping to put on a good show here for LaRue Racing, Denver, Colorado, all the fans, and hopefully make it to Reno.
Everyone's off to Reno, guys.
Well, again, what an awesome race, and this season finale ought to be intense. Robert Mumm, as we said, came in the points lead. He finishes 4th. Stillwell, who came in 3rd and was 10 points back, finishes 2nd. And really, Bunton playing a bit of a spoiler as well as a great race drive. He's really kind of affecting the points a little bit here.
Yes, indeed. However, I think this race will go down in memory as one of the great races of this season, of maybe every season for the spec racers. One to remember, one to watch the videotape on a cold winter's night, and one to enjoy.
Absolutely no question. Again, Keith Sharp, who was 2nd in the points, further back in the field still. So this points championship going into Reno ought to bunch up incredibly tight, and it should be a great race from Reno, certainly. We have seen a superb event here, no question. And again, Pikes Peak International Raceway is proving to be a great place for this type of racing. It has been an absolute treat. There's a final look of your winner, number 48, Joe Bunton, his first ever pro race, beating arguably the best at this type of racing. He is one happy fellow. Once again, for Derek Daly and John Bizignano, I am Greg Creamer. We've been very glad to bring you this racing action. We look forward to talking to you again. Take care, everybody. There's a good look at the winner.